Good morning, class. In this video, I'm going to continue reading aloud our creation myths. I'm going to start off by reading the Blackfoot American Indian Tribe creation myth. All alone, Old Man was traveling about, making things to beautify the world. So in the first line, we know our creator is the Old Man, and his intention is to beautify the world. He came from the south, traveling north, making animals and birds as he passed along. He made the mountains, prairies, timber, and brush first. So he went along, traveling northward, making things as he went, putting rivers here and there, with waterfalls on them, putting red paint in the soil here and there in the ground, making the world a wondrous place. He made the Milk River, the Teton. Now this is a river that actually exists. You can see it up here on a map in Idaho, and crossed it, and being tired went up on a little hill and lay down to rest. As he lay on his back, stretched out on the ground with arms extended, he marked himself out with stones, the shape of his body, head, arms, legs, and arms. Now if you look up here, this is kind of what that would look like. There you can see those rocks today. After he had rested, he went on northward, and stumbled over a knoll and fell down on his knees. Then he said, "You are a bad thing to be stumbling against." So he raised up 2 large buttes of water there, and named them the Knees, and they are called so to this day. He went on further north, and with some of the rocks he carried with him, he built many rolling hills. Old Man covered the plains with grass for the animals. He marked off a piece of ground, and in it he made to grow all kinds of roots and berries. So he grew all types of roots and berries. He put trees in the ground. He put all kinds of animals on the ground. When he made the bighorn ram, now a bighorn ram looks kind of like this. He made it out on the prairie. It did not seem to travel easily on the prairie. It was awkward and could not go fast. So he took it by one of its horns and led it up into the mountains, and turned it loose. It skipped about among the rocks, and went up fearful places with ease. So he said, "This is the place that suits you. This is what you are fitted for, the rocks and the mountains." While he was in the mountains, he made the antelope out of dirt, and turned it loose to see how it would go. It ran so fast that it fell over some rocks and hurt itself. He saw that this would not do, and he took the antelope down on the prairie and turned it loose. It ran away fast and gracefully, and he said, "This is what you are suited for." Now if you look over here, this is what an antelope looks like, and you can see that the old man is paying attention to what best suits each animal and is placing them in an environment that they're going to thrive in. One day, Old Man determined that he would make a woman and a child. So he formed them both, the woman and the child, her son, of clay. After he had molded the clay in human shape, he said to the clay, "You must be people." And then he covered it up and left it, and went away. The next morning he went to the place and took the covering off, and saw that the clay shapes had changed a little. The second morning there was still more change, and the third still. The fourth morning he went to the place, took the covering off, looked at the images, and told them to rise and walk, and they did so. So it took 4 days just about for these people to come to be, and he told them to rise and walk, and they did. They walked down to the river with their maker, and then he told them that his name was not P, Old Man. As they were standing by the river, the woman said to him, "How is it? Will we always live? Will there be no end to it?" Napi said, "I have not thought of that. We will have to decide. I will take this buffalo chip and throw it in the river. If it floats, when people die, in 4 days they will become alive again. They will die for only 4 days. But if it sinks, there will be an end to them." He threw the chip into the river, and it floated. The woman turned and picked up a stone, and said, "No. I will throw this stone in the river. If it floats, we will always live. If it sinks, people must die, so that they will be able to feel sorrow for each other." So again, she is saying that people should die, so they'll be able to feel sorrow for each other. The woman threw the stone in the water, and it sank. "There," said Old Man, you have chosen. There will be an end to people. Gotta highlight that line too, and this concludes our creation myth of the Blackfoot Indians. I'm going to transition on to the Ugandan tale, the creation of the world. Kabeza Mupungu, the highest god, had created the sky and the earth and two human beings, a man and a woman endowed with reason. So you know that our highest god is Kabeza Mupungu, and he had created the sky and the earth and two human beings, a man and a woman. However, these two human beings did not, as yet, possess mutima, or heart. So the humans did not have a heart. Kabeza Mupungu had 4 children, the sun, the moon, darkness, and rain. He called them all together and said to them, I want to withdraw now, so that man can no longer see me. I will send down Mutima in my place, but before I take leave, I want to know what you, Rain, are going to do. Oh, replied Rain, I think I'll pour down without cease and put everything under water. No, answered the god, don't do that. Look at these two, and he pointed to the man and the woman. Do you think they can live under water? You'd better take turns with the sun. After you have sufficiently watered the earth, let the sun go to work and dry it. And how are you going to conduct yourself, son? The god asked. I intend to shine hotly and burn everything under me, said the second child. No, replied Kabeza Mupungu, that cannot be. How do you expect people whom I created to get food? When you have warmed the earth for a while, give rain a chance to refresh it and make it grow fruit. And you, darkness, what are your plans? I intend to rule forever, was the answer. Have pity, cried the god. Do you want to condemn my creatures, the lions, the tigers, and the serpents, to see nothing of the world I made? Listen to me. Give the moon time to shine on earth, and when you see the moon in its last quarter, then you may rule again. So he's talking about when the moon reaches its last quarter, which is when it's very small, and then it goes dark. So as you can see, Kabeza Mupungu is talking to all his kids and trying to get them to reason because all of them want to rule and take over the world, basically. But I've lingered too long, now I must go. And he disappeared. Somewhat later, Mutima, or heart, came along, in a small container no bigger than a hand. Mutima was crying and asked sun, moon, darkness, and rain, Where is Kabeza Mupungu, our father? Father is gone, they said. We do not know where. Oh, how great is my desire, replied Mutima, to commune with him. But since I cannot find him, I will enter into man, and through him I will seek God from generation to generation. And that is what happened ever since. All humans born contain Mutima, a longing for God. And this concludes our creation myth for the tale of the Ugandans. Now I'm going to read our last one, which is the creation myth of Banku, the Chinese creation tale. A long, long time ago, the earth and the sky were one tightly joined object, just a tumble of elements in an egg-shaped cloud called chaos. So basically, we have the earth and the sky tightly joined together in an egg-shaped cloud called chaos. There was no order and no life, only the constantly moving swirl of earth and sky, endlessly rolling on around and over one another. Deep within the swirling cloud, Banku was forming. For 18,000 years he slept in the center of the vortex until one day we awakened. Like a newborn chick, emerging from his shell, Banku slowly, very slowly, became aware of the world. When he finally opened his eyes, he was dismayed by the dark, chaotic world that surrounded him. Reaching out with his massive arm, the giant Banku struck out at chaos, and this thunderous blow caused the elements to shake. Okay, so we know here that Banku was powerful. Things that were heavy fell, and things that were light rose. The heavy things settled into earth, and the luminous light elements became the sky. With his mighty blow, Panku had created the earth and the sky as two distinct entities. He rested the sky on his shoulders, and he walked upon the earth, ensuring the two elements would stay separated. As each day passed, the earth grew 10 feet thicker, and the sky grew 10 feet higher. Panku, already a giant, also grew 10 more feet each day, able to always keep the earth and the sky from touching. He lived like this for 18,000 more years, all three growing larger each day. At the end of those years, Panku had achieved his work. So how many years do we know this was? 18,000 more years. Ensuring the earth and the sky were secure in his realm, and so far apart that they would never again collapse into chaos. Finally, he lay down on the earth to rest, and peacefully died. In time, the elements of his body were absorbed into the earth, making it even more beautiful. His breath became the wind in the clouds. His blood became the rushing rivers. His voice floated to the sky and became the sound of rolling thunder. His eyes turned into the sun and the moon, so that they might always keep a watch over the world. His hairs became the grass and trees, and his sweat became the morning dew. Every part of Panku became useful to the earth. Even his bones and teeth sank deep into the soil, eventually becoming pockets of precious metals. In time, gods and goddesses from the heavens came to visit the earth, impressed with the flourishing natural world that Panku's efforts had created. One goddess in particular, Nukwa, was especially taken with the earth and enjoyed exploring all of its different habitats. She fretted, though, thinking that the earth was missing something. More life was needed here, she thought. So we know that now Nukwa has entered. She's a woman. She thought, and she set about to make a new creature to inhabit the earth. Nukwa, a goddess with the body of a dragon and the face of an angel, took a mound of clay, again we have clay, and sculpted a face very much like her own. The body, though, was a different shape, something with 2 arms and 2 legs that could more easily navigate all the different terrains of earth. She set her creation upon the ground and was delighted when the clay form came to life. The little human sang and danced and made joyful sounds. Nukwa, delighted with her handiwork, made many more of the human creatures and joined them in celebration. So we know this one, Panku created the earth, the sky, and everything basically in it, and his body became all the natural elements. And Nukwa, the goddess, who had the body of a dragon and the face of an angel, made human beings. And that concludes our last creation myth.